I've faced a lot of misunderstandings with the world
Yeah.
and with family, relatives, everyone.
Yeah.
So it just pushed me into that path where there's no one in this world for me, I'm there for myself. Me and him always practiced together since the age of 3. And from that, and then me deciding to transition, and then this happening, it was really painful.
How did it feel when, your father told you to stop playing cricket?
Again, it hurt because he knows that I've looked up to him since childhood. I used to see his paintings and pictures on the wall with the Indian cricket team and playing for the Indian cricket team. As a kid, I used to wear his cricket kit, like his size 11, size 10 shoes, having these small feet,
Yeah.
and just going around the house and saying, I'm a cricketer, I'm playing for India one day.
Wow.
And from doing that and practicing together for like 10 years,
Yeah.
or ever since I was 3, like me and him always practiced together since the age of 3. And from that, and then me deciding to transition, and then this happening, it was really painful.
He's still accepting.
Yeah.
But what was that time like for you personally?
Again, very isolating and being felt misunderstood. Although I could understand where he was coming from, he's grown up in a different world. Like a trans child would always want the parent to understand and be like unconditionally supportive and loving towards them.
Absolutely, yeah. And do you have conversations with him though? Like, hey, this is how conversations with me should be had, or is that something you wait for from him to come to you?
I wait for him to come to me and ask whatever there is. So, yeah.
Okay. And you can stop me if this makes you uncomfortable or if you want to not talk about this. But a father and a daughter's equation is beautiful. Do you want that with your father now that you have transitioned?
Yeah, I've always wanted. I wanted it since the day I came out, but I'm at this stage where I've already done that for me. And if it happens, it'll be good. If it doesn't happen, it's fine either way.
Do you watch all of the tests matches, the ODIs, and the IPL the crazy season that just happened?
Yes, I do. And I'm so glad that Virat Kohli won that trophy. I mean,
Weren't you supporting Punjab with your father?
I was supporting. I had a soft spot for Mushir, but my father was part both of Punjab and RCB.
And RCB.
So I was just so glad to see both of them in the finals.
Your father had coached Virat for a quick time, for a brief while. Have you played with him?
Yeah, before he went to UK, which was I think during the lockdown, me, him, and my father trained together, and it was really nice. I mean, I learned a lot from him towards his approach, his mindset. I asked him a few questions about how he handles pressure at that level, and like just that persona that he had, like
Yeah.
that man had, really inspired me.
Your passion is cricket. You love the game and you do want to play. You've been very vocal about it. And as you said that there's no place to play. If given a chance, would you, try and advocate this place for trans women in sports, not just specifically cricket, but whether it's wrestling or whether it's hockey or whether it's, any kind of, whether it's javelin throw, any field or track events?
Again, me having a cricketing background and cricketing life, I know what it's like to play as a cricketer and transition as a cricketer, and what it's like for the women's cricketers out there. I personally wouldn't know how to approach other sports because I'm not a scientist or an expert in this field in terms of medical aspects.
Yeah.
But I would still be open for it and see how that goes.
Fair enough. I think, but if you start this wave or if, take a chance, fight for yourself, I'm sure it'll help other trans women or trans sports women who want to play the game or who want to be part of sports and who truly, truly want to be athletes. and they get a place, they want to pursue it, they fight the same for their sport, right?
On that aspect, I would also like to say is that, like, banning trans women on that unfair advantage aspect seems fair on the generic value, but what about the trans men?
Yeah.
Trans men aren't allowed to play men's cricket.
Yeah.
And have you guys seen Aryan Pasha? He's a
Yeah.
trans man. Like, you guys can clip his picture, but you should see that man who has transitioned from female to male, and that man can't play a sport or compete in the men's category. I mean, what is this then? Is there any unfair advantage there now? And even if you want to call that unfair advantage aspect, Michael Phelps, his whole body, his whole wingspan, everything is built for swimming. So are you going to keep him in the unfair advantage category, or are you still going to keep him in men's? And also, when we talk about that, why is this only in women's sport? Like Duti Chand,
Yeah.
her body naturally produces more testosterone. So is she not a woman then?
Yeah.
So again, all these gray areas that we have been talking about, or that I've been getting vocal about, can be dealt with in a very fair manner.
Absolutely. I think our world wasn't, given enough references, or a lot of trans women didn't have that amount of willpower in them to fight towards this, or they were, the society has always put them down. So
There are already female cricketers
Yeah.
who want to transition to a guy, but they don't, because then they'll have to give up cricket.
so it's either the game or their life, and you chose your life. And how are you with that decision? How do you sit with it?
I'm like, now that I have this chosen piece or inner peace that I have, I'm ready to deal with all the obstacles that has to come along with it, because now I'm ready to fight for it. Even before, let's say, my life would have been easier on the external aspect, my internal life would have been way worse.
Absolutely.
Like, I wouldn't be sitting here as of now if I want to transition.
Absolutely. And if you were given a chance to transition when you were younger, would you have taken that opportunity?
Definitely. Only if I wasn't around men. I've grown up in a boys' school. I've grown up in cricketing circles in a very hyper-masculine field. So I always felt ashamed of myself for having those feelings and being that person.
When you were in a boys' school, and when you were in high school with 100 other boys, and from the inside you knew that you were not there, you didn't belong there. What was it like?
To be honest, I wasn't 100% sure of it. Again, I
At
was
that
a
time.
child. Like, how am I supposed to be sure of something like this? But those feelings always persisted. And again, I didn't feel that openness or a safe space where I could actually tell this to someone.
And when was the first time that something triggered in you saying, hey, no, these thoughts are for real?
So they started when I was 9 years old, like dressing up in my mom's clothes, like hiding and dressing up. And it kept on going for like years, until there was a stage when I was 15 or 16. I let that toxic masculinity get into me. I was like, I'm gonna be this man. I'll try to be
Be a
this
cricketer.
be a cricketer, be the best man that I can be. Because I looked in the mirror, I always wondered why wasn't I born a girl? And then I saw what's in the mirror, and I was like, enough of this. I'm gonna bury all of these feelings away, and I'm just gonna give my 100% to cricket in that way.
And then life had different plans. You had different plans for life.
Life happened, yes.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us.